Alright, so we're checking out the NAKTO Santa Monica e-bike in this video. So this is a cruiser style e-bike with 26-inch wheels. Frame very nice looking here, 60/61 aluminum, very strong. Can hold up to 280 pounds of total weight. The tires on here are 26 by 3 inches and they are puncture resistant. Got some Zoom mechanical disc brakes here with 160 millimeter rotors. We've got a front fork suspension here with about 60 millimeters of travel, and we got a front headlight. So in the rear here, we've got a 500 watt rear hub motor. Got a Shimano Churney derailleur and 6-gear cassette. The battery in here is a 48 volt, 10 amp hour battery. It is removable, and you have to turn on the bike with the included key here. So currently it's switched over to on, and then you would just switch it off and pull out the key to turn the bike off. And you can't turn it on without the key. It has to be in there. And then on the other side is use the same key here for unlocking the battery. It's currently locked, so the battery can't be stolen. Right over here is the charge port, a little flap, little cover here for splashes, so charge right over there. You can see here on the crankshaft we have a cadence sensor, typical for this class of e-bike. Got a huge handlebar here in the front. It's about 30 inches in width. Pretty standard looking grips here. You got your headlight button, horn button, and your display for your power assist, speedometer, odometer, up and down on the buttons for the pedal assist, and here's your power button. So on this side you have your full twist throttle, and then you have an SIS shifter here from Shimano, pretty standard, and your hand brakes. So here in the front you got your wire management, pretty clean, and everything is nicely tucked away. You do have some of the cables exposed here on the underside of the frame. So got a nice wide seat here. It's fairly comfortable. It's not too soft but not too hard. You have a spring here underneath the seat. There's no rear suspension, so having this does help with some of the bumps, but I would recommend sticking to mainly paved surfaces. This can do a little bit of off-roading because you got a little bit of some knobby tires here, so grass and stuff like that is probably okay. A little bit of dirt, but not really meant for major off-roading. As I mentioned before, the batteries 40 volts, 10 amp hours, get roughly 22 miles, depending on how much throttle you're using and how much you're pedaling. But yeah, it's enough talking about the specs of the bike. Let's go ahead and give it a ride test, see how fast it goes, and I'll give you my thoughts on how it feels when riding around. Alright, so we'll start off in pedal assist level 1. We'll just pedal and see how quickly it gets up to speed. No throttle, and it kicks in pretty quickly, about half a turn of the crankshaft, and we're right up to about 10 miles an hour, a little under 10 miles an hour in pedal assist level 1. Let's go ahead and bump it up to level 2. And now we're going a little faster on pedal assist. It's typical with a cadence sensor, we are freewheeling a little bit here, around 11 miles an hour. All right, let's kick it up to level 3. And I'm going to gear up a little bit here so I'm not freewheeling so much. 13.4 in level 3. All right, let's try level 4 now. And we're going about 14 miles an hour. 14.2. It's a little over 14 miles an hour in level 4. right, now we'll try level 5. Yep, much more acceleration at level 5. Probably gonna hit top speed here. 20 miles an hour, 20 and a half, 21, 21 and a half. So I believe this bike's max speed is around 25 miles an hour, but I'm probably a little bit overweight for their typical rider. But yeah, it goes pretty fast in pedal assist. So let's just drop that down to level 1 pedal assist and just do throttle only. So no pedaling, just throttle. And it's creeping up to about 9.5, 9.6 miles per hour. No pedaling. Let's go level 2. 10, 11, 10.9, 11, hovering around 11 miles per hour, and level 2 on throttle only. All right, go level 3 and hit the throttle. .7, 12.9, 13, 13.2, 13.1, so around 13.1, 13.2 in level 3. All right, so let's go to level 4. Hit the throttle. .2. So it seems like level 4 is around 14, and I think level 5 is going to be much, much more. So I think the way this speed controller is programmed is a little strange. It should be a little more linear. It's very linear down from 1 to 4, but then once you go to 5, it seems like it gives you max speed. No limit at all. So the speed limiter must be set lower on levels 1 through 4. So they're on 5 now. We're going way faster. 20, 21. Looks like we're on 21.2 on throttle, 21.4. It's a little faster on throttle only. So yeah, it's quite a bit of difference between level 4 and level 5. I think for me, level 4 is plenty fast enough. All right, so let me give you some thoughts on just how it rides. Obviously, on some smooth surfaces here, paved surfaces, is going to be totally fine, even without a rear suspension. Even if you go over a few bumps, the seat suspension is good. The springs are, they do absorb some of the bounces, as well as the large 26-inch tires. They do help out a lot as well. I like the fact that you can kind of sit back like this. So you can sit upright because you have this nice sloped and very wide handlebar. So again, this is very good for cruising. You've probably seen a bike like this, on the beach for rental, typically known as a beach cruiser. And very easy to ride. So you're able to sit upright. The handlebars are wide and slope back. That's what allows you to sit back like this. So definitely, for those of you that want a cruiser, this is a very relaxing type of bike to ride. Not too many frills or not too dangerous. But you can do a little bit of off-roading here. So let's go on some grass here, and this front suspension does absorb most of the shocks, and I don't feel like the seat is too rough. I mean, obviously, without a rear suspension, it is a bit rough, but you can go on these sort of surfaces no problem. Not too many, the motor can handle it no problem. Yeah, it definitely has enough power to go through the grass, no problem. Not sure about going full off-road on this one. Probably not really built for full off-roading. We probably could do a little bit of that. You know, dirt bike paths are probably going to be okay, and you know, sidewalks, that kind of stuff, with these small cracks where the suspension is able to handle. You know, these sort of small bumps, no problem. I don't really feel hardly anything at all. The ride is very smooth, and yeah, as I don't know if I mentioned it before, but the shocks do have, the front suspension does have a lockout and an adjustment. So if you want a little bit more or a little bit less in terms of shock absorption in the front, you can adjust that. All right, so just a few words on the bike assembly. Fairly straightforward, typical of a lot of e-bikes in this class. It comes like 90% assembled. You have to, of course, put the front wheel on and the front handlebar. That's pretty standard for most e-bikes, and you have to adjust the handle, the brake handle, or the brake. You have to adjust the brake grips to the angle that you want. But didn't take too long, about, I don't know, 20 minutes for me. I think the trickiest part was putting the handlebar on. You just have to make sure that it's screwed in correctly, otherwise you won't turn the wheel properly. Other than that, yeah, not much more to say about this bike. Pretty good value at around $1,000 for what you get. Nice little bike for taking around town, on the beach, take it at the park, just cruising around. Overall, pretty good bike. Anyway, that's going to cover it for this video. If you got any questions, let me know. Talk to you guys in the next one.